Okay, it says we are live. I don't know that I set my sound up right, so let me make sure that's working. There's been a lot of times on these broadcasts where I'm having a whole conversation, but you guys can't hear what it is that I'm saying. But hello, it looks like it is working. My name is Zakia Ringgold, and I did this video 4 days after I had gotten my Sisterlocks installed. And this video is all about what it has been like for the past 3 years because I'm at my 3 year anniversary a week ago, right? So I have now had my Sisterlocks for 3 years, and oftentimes, particularly on the YouTube channel, I get questions about the color. I get questions about what am I doing to maintain it? Do I have any regrets? Anything like that. So, hello, Kim Coleman. How are you? So glad you are here, my friend. So a lot of you are curious. I was actually curious, so I did make some notes here so that I can make sure I cover everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what made me get Sisterlocks in the first place, the length when I got started, that whole process, what I do to maintain my hair. Spoiler alert, not a whole lot, except for keeping up with my reties and washing it once a month. And then my styling, which is very, very minimal. What my reties are like, how long they take, what happened with the dye going into my hair, and then what products I use in my hair. If there's a question you have that I do not answer on this particular stream, do be sure to put it in the comments and I will respond. The last time we did this, it got over 20,000 views on YouTube. So maybe you're curious on where we are. So Kim is saying, in the process of getting mine, took her 2 days to do quarter of my head. Listen, Linda, still not finished. So that's going to bring us right into topic one, Kim. So when I initially got my Sisterlocks, I got them right at the start of the pandemic. I got them in July of 2020. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of research on the different types of locks. I maybe could have done that or should have done that. But I had knew my loctician from when I worked in a law firm. And that was in about 2005, 7-ish era. And at that time, she was going to get her certification to be a certified Sisterlocks consultant. And so I watched her get hers installed. And then over the years, thanks to Facebook and all of that other good stuff, I was able to see her hair and it just flourished and grew. Pardon, but I don't know what Sisterlocks are, Z. So we're going to get to that, Senator Bulworth. Remember, I had my hair kind of change. These are Sisterlocks. They're a different type of locks that you can put in your hair. And what it does is it allows you, and I'm looking down at the screen here, so I'm not completely, there, I'll put it. I don't have the brain power to actually do it the opposite way, but these are Sisterlocks. This is my hair 3 years in. I should have done this as a pre-recorded video. So right here, I would be able to insert like a side by side so you can see. But when I first got them installed 3 years ago, my hair was about here. So it has grown dramatically. Kim Coleman says, I got my certification. Oh, so you're a certified. Yeah, it grew like weeds and it continues to. So I'm going to get off track. Maybe I'll re-record this at some point. So what made me get them was we were in the middle of a pandemic and I had my hair to do, Nyla's hair to do. Well, not really Nyla. Paige's hair to do. And then I had started a whole new business of virtual event production. And in virtual event production, I had to be camera ready at 8 a.m. every single day because I was helping people with their events, their virtual events, because remember, we couldn't meet in person. So when I looked at Sisterlocks, this style, it would allow me to be able to easily get up in the morning. This is what I thought, and it was true. Do this and go and turn the camera on. So that's what made me get them. It wasn't until after I got my Sisterlocks that I learned that there was this thing called microlocs. I knew about traditional locks. Josh has traditional locks, but there's all different types of locks that you can get, and I just didn't know about them. So I didn't do that kind of research. I was just doing a Google search on Sisterlocks. I didn't even look at alternatives. So I know a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between Sisterlocks and microlocs? Sisterlocks, there's a whole certification. It's trademarked. There's some trade secrets to it for the people who are going through the certification where you can't even get the tool. It's a certain way that they do the pattern, and there's other things that I'm not aware of because I'm not going through the certification or the trainee. Whereas microlocs, they still use an interlocking pattern or different kinds of patterns. You still get pretty small locks. They're still pretty small. It's just maybe the grid is a little bit different, or maybe they're bigger. But hopefully, somebody who is a certified Sisterlocks technician or a loctician can come on and tell you the main difference. I didn't do enough research when I got them. I just knew I wanted locks that were small enough so that I could do the styling. Spoiler alert with that one too. I do minimal styling to my hair. I think when we came on, I had it in a ponytail. I typically will wear it in a ponytail. And if I'm not wearing it in a ponytail, it's in a style similar to this. If you are watching on Facebook, I am going to have to open you up on there because your Facebook comments are not coming up for me. So what I will do is go to my page there. Hopefully the sound doesn't come on. Okay. So, and then I'll be able to see if you say anything there. So hopefully that answered your question, Mr. Bulworth. Senator Bulworth, I should say. You did a great job explaining the difference. Yes, the forums will help you, and we'll talk about the forums in a bit. So the length when I got them installed, I shared with you when they installed them, and you can watch the very first video. After this video is over, I will link to the first video I did, and you'll see my hair was right here above my ears. Typically, when I go back for my reties, and I'll talk about that, there's about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of new growth that they have to retie. So it does grow pretty quickly. The hair maintenance. So I know some people faithfully wash their hair once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and all of that. I'm lucky. I typically realize that, hey, your appointment is coming up. You should probably wash it so that your loctician doesn't think that you are insane. So I honestly wash my hair once or twice a month, maximum. I don't know. My mom always says dirt helps the hair grow, so I'm just following that. But when I first got them installed, for the first year, I was washing it once a week, braiding and banding it at the ends faithfully using the Sisterlocks shampoo. Right now, I just use a tea tree shampoo, and I do use a conditioner because I did get the color added to my hair. My hair was fully locked at about 18 months in, and at that point, I stopped completely with the braiding and banding, although I can tell you, I do prefer the braiding and the banding for washing your hair because it is heavy. And I find myself when I was braiding and banding, I could ensure that I was shampooing in between each, getting the shampoo through the strands. And now when I just go in there and I'm washing my hair, I have to kind of take the time, part the hair, shampoo, part again, shampoo. Spend a little longer in the shower. I'm the soap lady. I don't mind being in the shower for a longer period of time, but it's just a little bit more effort and the hair is heavier. I know that most people in the loctician world or in the Sisterlocks world say absolutely no products. I am somebody who does need products for 2 reasons. Number 1, my hair is naturally dry. Number 2, because I have the chemical treatment in terms of the color, I actually have to have some kind of conditioner, and I do a deep condition once a month. Weekly, the way I maintain it is when it does start to feel like it's getting a little limp or dry. And this is what was this is the impetus of why we're doing the video. I was about to do this. I said, hey, it's time to do your 3-year update. Why not show what you do? So when my hair starts to feel a little dry, like you can see here, well, you can't see, it kind of looks a little luscious on this camera. Shout out to the lusciousness of those Sisterlocks. But it kind of looks a little lush, but I can feel it. It just feels dry. I will fill my spray bottle with about that much of aloe vera juice, and the remainder of it is water. So 3 parts aloe vera juice to 1 part of just regular water. And then what I'll do is I'll shake it up to mix it, and then I'll spray my hair. And I wish I had knew about this spray bottle when I was a loose natural, because it gives you like that endless stream. I should have rethought this. I'm like right in front of the soap here. It gives you like an endless stream of water instead of it just kind of like drip, drip, dripping down the side. So I'll give it a nice little spray to just not soak it, but it's a good dampness to it. And I'll do 1 part like that. And then I do use my lemongrass herbal infusion. So this is an herbal infusion, primarily olive oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil. I know I'm missing one. Oh, I don't remember. And lemongrass essential oil. I'll go back and forth between this one and the mint infusion. And what I'll do is the part that I just wet, I will part with my fingers. And I still have a grid. So this is one of those things that a lot of people love about Sisterlocks is you still have, even through your reties, you still have pretty straight parts. You still have really straight parts. And then what I'll do is I will take the syringe here, and I'll use you all as my camera or as my mirror. And then I'll just go right in those parts, and I'll keep parting. Not a whole lot of oil. Are you so? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I do sell it, and it should be on the website. But what I do is I lightly oil it. Now, you don't want your hair full of oil. The reason I do it with the water first is because oil does not hydrate the hair. Water and aloe vera will hydrate the hair. The oil locks that moisture in as to not dry them out, or so that it doesn't dry out because of the color. So that's why I do the aloe vera and water mixture first. And then I'm just using this lemongrass herbal infusion to kind of seal that moisture into the locks. And so then I'll just keep parting just like that. And I do think I am starting to thin a little bit up there. I think I was thinning before, but I can kind of tell. It feels a little bit thinner. And then I just kind of take this and do that part. Now, because I don't have my mirror, what I'll do is I'll just kind of twist this here so that I can do the next part. So just a simple twist. And as you can see, I got highlights, so you can see the color a little bit better in there. And as I get down to the ends, that still feels a little bit dry. So I'll take the aloe vera and water mixture, squirt them on up, squirt a little more. Again, not soaking wet, but I do want it damp. Just like that. And then just twist her up. And then I go right on to the next side. And as you can see, it is pretty long. I think I did prefer my hair when it was a little bit shorter. Now I feel like I have to do something in terms of styling it. Whereas before I could get away with not doing a doggone thing. So now we'll go ahead and do this next section right over here. And again, take special care of my ends because that's the driest part of our hair, of course. And if you want to get completely lazy, you could put a little bit of oil in the water bottle. Like I do that sometimes too, but for demonstration purposes here, I wanted to show you how I started with doing it, but sometimes I just don't have the time. Like if I just want to revive my hair in the morning, I'll put the lemongrass essential oil in with the aloe vera, and then I'm just taking my hands and kind of running that water through, and then back up here. And then again, same thing. We'll take the herbal infusion here. And you can make your own herbal infusions at home. I have done videos for that. The nice thing about the herbal infusions, you can use them as a massage oil. You can use them as a body oil. And then, of course, as a hair oil, hair and body. And the whole thing with herbal infusions is you are infusing the herbs into the oil. So you're getting those beneficial properties. So I do a combination of 9 different herbs inside. Let me see if I'll turn you guys over, but it's typically a combination of rosemary, echinacea root, chamomile, calendula, horsetail, marshmallow root, Oregon grapefruit. So there's a whole slew of herbs that I will infuse in the oils. And infusing is you just have the oils, your oil blend, within a crock pot or a stock pot. I typically use my really large one, this white roaster oven. It is a 18 quart one that I'll do. Hello to everyone. Do you know I don't sell the aloe vera because it's the aloe vera juice. You can easily get it off Amazon. And it's very expensive to ship too. Very expensive because it's heavy. I get the really big bottles of aloe vera. And it's the aloe vera juice. So you can use, but just make sure it's 100% aloe vera juice. Sometimes you'll get like an aloe vera gel. And that's not exactly what you want. And then what I do is I just do the same process. And let me show you. These intentionally, there is not a lot of oil in there. And it comes right out. And so that way I know that I'm not overdoing it with the oil. Because once this is done twice in a section, I know that is enough oil for that part of my hair. And then again, I just take and rub that oil in. And then just for these purposes, I will go ahead and twist her up. Twister, twister, twister up. Now, I don't do this to my hair. What I'll do is I'll typically do 2 corn rolls down the side because then you get 2 styles in one. The first style is the braids, but just so I can get through the moisturization and then talking through this, you all will be able to kind of understand that process, and then I'll come back. Let's see, that looks looking a little thin. All right, so then what I'll do is I'll come straight down the middle here, and we'll do the same thing. I constantly shake this just to make sure the aloe vera and the water are mixed together, and then we'll squirt. I need a new squirt bottle though. It should give me a continuous stream. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. Come on. Jeez. Shake. There we go. There we go. So that is the way that I maintain it. Let me see. What else did I have on this list? Okay, so my reties. Some people say, how often do you go back for a retie? At first, I was going back every 4 weeks, but that just felt like it was too much. I didn't have a whole lot of growth at that point. And then we went to 6 weeks, which was way too long. The new growth just was a little bit overbearing at that point. So my sweet spot is going back every 5 weeks to get my hair retied. And when she reties it, it typically takes her about 3 hours. So I typically will take my laptop with me, get some work done, watch TV, We'll talk about health stuff or watch Netflix or TV. The interesting thing and what I love about my loctician in particular is the lady who installed my hair is Donna. Her company is Straight Relax to Lock is the name of it. Not only is she a certified loctician, but she is also a Sisterlocks ambassador. I guess she's been there so long and she's going through all of the levels of training. She has now trained her daughter. So her daughter became a trainee about 2 years ago and transitioned me. So now her daughter maintains my locks, which is really good. But I still get to talk to Donna. She gets to see the process and the progress. But what I love about it is it's creating entrepreneurship right in her family, and it's something that she's now gotten her cosmetology license. She's looking to open a shop and all of that. So just seeing her business grow and flourish, and her teaching other people to be able to have a source of income with something that they like to do. I could never, ever self retie this. I have 437 locks in my hair. That's 437 individual ones. So that means every single time I go back for a retie, she grabs every single one individually and interlocks it so it goes back. Hold on. So it goes back to the root. That is probably going to ring several more times. So let me see if I can get us on Do Not Disturb. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. So every single time. So now I'll turn to this side so you can see. And I'm just going around the entire head and doing the same process. So we shake up the water and aloe vera. But this is how I'm able to keep the hair moisturized. Same like when you're natural, you got to take a little bit more care of your hair if you perm it or if you add color to it. Same thing with the locks. I don't want them to get dry and brittle and break off. So this is what I do to make sure that they stay pretty healthy and moisturized. So the water is for the moisture, and the herbal infusion is to lock that moisture in. So then I just take our little syringe here, and I just kind of go in. There's not like any rhyme or reason to where I'm placing it. I'm just putting it right on my scalp and going down. And I just gently press the depressor that's on the top. So as it's going, it's slowly going onto my scalp. And sometimes I don't use 2 full ones. See, that's still kind of half in there. And then I'll take my hands, rub it into the scalp and down the shaft of the hair. And sometimes you got oil on your neck and all that, but who cares? Normally you're about to get in the shower anyway. And then again, I'll just do a little 2-strander. And then we'll be coming around to the last side, and I will tell you all about what I've learned with the locks. It's not like my journey isn't like everybody else's journey where it's like this illuminating, eye-opening, awakening. There's just like a freedom of one less thing to worry about. I think that's the biggest thing for me with the locks. There is a lot going on when you're juggling mommyhood, business owner, sister, daughter, all of the roles that we play, and figuring out what you're going to wear, what you're going to do to your hair. All of that just becomes, look, can I make my life any more simpler? So that's really what Sisterlocks were for me from the beginning. That was my whole, what is one less thing I have to worry about during the day? That was the whole thing. And it has really remained true. And then it's kind of like, I don't want to say a secret society, but when you see other people with Sisterlocks, it's like, hey girl, love your hair. And they say the same thing back to you. It actually got me to actually catch my flight. When I was coming back from Chicago, I was running late to the airport. And I got to the TSA line. My flight was boarding in about 15 minutes, and the TSA line was wrapped. I mean, literally wrapped around the thing. And I saw this lady. I had my ticket out, and she had Sisterlocks. I didn't like pick her out because she had Sisterlocks. I picked her out because she was a sister, but not because she had Sisterlocks. But it was in my favor. And I said, ma'am, can I please get in front of you? My flight is leaving in 30 minutes. And she said, come on, girl. You got Sisterlocks. So I was able to get in front of her and have, instead of having to go to the end of the line. And she was like, don't worry about these people. I don't care what they say. So it really worked out. But I do like that. When you see other women with Sisterlocks in their hair, it's kind of like you get to have a real quick conversation on why'd you get it, how'd you get it, how long have you had it, what products do you use or don't use. I will say one thing that's very different from being a loose natural to a locked natural, right? I guess we're definitely natural. Is there is not that whole product junkyism. It is definitely a sisterhood. There is no, when I say product junkyism, first of all, I could never wear a true wash and go. I could never. It was always a wash and, oh no, what are you doing kind of situation. That's what I called them. And so it was always trying to find the right gel, the right whatever, the right conditioner, the right leave-in, all of that. None of that is the case with Sisterlocks. This is my comb and my brush. I don't use any tools in my hair. Aside from the oil and the aloe vera and water, I use shampoo and conditioner, and that is it. Mother Nature does the rest. I don't have to do anything else to my hair. So now that they are all moisturized, I'm going to take this down, and then I'm going to put it into 2 cornrows because the hair is damp, and I'm going to spray it again just to give it just that extra little bit of dampness, because I can feel this part is a little more damp than this side over here. So I wasn't giving this enough love on this side. So now I look like it, right? But look at that. The part is still right there. And I'm using you all, or the camera, to see where the middle kind of sort of is. No, come on over. Wrong piece. Come on, Gina. Okay, that's just going to be janky like that, right? So then I just separate it into 2 sides. I don't worry about it being like a perfect part, although you can have a perfect part with your grid. And I separate it down the middle so that I can braid it into 2 cornrows. Now, I typically will wear the cornrows for about 2 days. And then when I take it out, that's another style that's in there. Jeez, that part is not in the middle, but we're not even about to, because it's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. All right, so then I just put that one off to the side. We're going to spray it again. The wetter the hair, not soaking wet, but we wanted a nice dampness. The damper it is, the longer the braid out will be, because that's inevitably what we will get when we do this. My squirt bottle is being so disrespectful. Normally it's a long stream. I ain't getting that down. I'm not getting that now. It's like, that's not what we want. That's not what we want, Carol Ann. All right, so now what we do is we go to the side, and then we do a simple corn roll. So I take, and all of you know how to, if you were on anybody's stoop at any point, you know how to do a corn roll. So you take 3 pieces, and you kind of just wrap them around. And then we do this on both sides. You can even do a 2-strand twist down the side, and that way you'll get more of a wave instead of a crinkle. So it's really up to you if you want to do it this way. But this is how I will then get in the shower, I'll let that steam hit my hair because then I'm getting a steam treatment, right? And then in 2 days, I'll take it out and that's a whole nother style. But in between time, and in the meantime, I have this style. And I'm hoping you all can see. And I just go down the side. And I am due to have my color redone. As you can see, that's how much it has grown in 6 months. My hair was, well, 7 months. It was dyed in December of last year. And we're in July. So we're due for a redo. Because I do have a couple of grays that are deciding to pop up. Shady boots. If it would just come, like all come in, I would be okay with that. But it's just so random. It's like 4 pieces of gray hair there. Gray hair and the baby hair. It's too much. And then I do this pretty quickly. It takes me about 5 minutes. Sometimes it gets tangled like that. You just pull it. Again, no combs, no brushes, just your fingers. That's all you need. Now, normally I would then put a scrunchie at the bottom of it because otherwise it looks like Pippi Longstocking and it just kind of twists up on its own. And if this was a pre-recorded video, this is where we would speed it up, have the magic of TV. We ain't got that today. We don't have that today. And then we just go all the way to the ends, or as close to the ends as you want. If you want, you could put a rod on the bottom if you were going to take this out like the next day. And then that way, if you definitely wanted your ends to be curly. That was one thing. My ends are only curly right after I get out of the water. But I think with the dye, that chemical process, normally it would have stayed curly, but it doesn't do that. I do have some budding on some of the Sisterlocks, but not a whole lot. And then, so then you have that one. You just do the exact same thing on the other side. So we've already put our oil in there. Laura, I do see the aloe vera juice that I use. I'll bring that over so you can see it. I'm not sure if you're still here, but I will bring it over. This video is getting a taste too long for my liking, so I'm trying to hurry up. Hurry up and get her done. Hurry up. Hurry up and get her done. Hurry up. And if you are just coming on, this is a combination of aloe vera juice and water. To this, you can add any kind of, well, depending on what your loctician says. Right? Don't just do what Zakia said it on. I went to YouTube University and Zakia said no. Your loctician will be mad at you. But I also will put oil in there. If I'm being lazy and don't feel like oiling my entire scalp. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. I can never cornrow exactly the same way on the opposite side. It never comes out right. Like one of them was going to be janky. So we'll see which side is the janky side in a minute. So then we just come right over here and just platter down. I got to go back to my list to see if I missed anything else I wanted to share. Come in notes. Okay, so we talked about what made me get, I'm going to do a recap while we do this last braid. What made me get Sisterlocks is me wanting to have very little maintenance in order for my lifestyle and the work that I had to do. I had to be camera ready every single day, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning in July of 2020. And it's been that way consistently. So Sisterlocks definitely gave me the ability to just wake up and shake my hair and sit down in front of the camera. Now, I do take a shower, I do brush my teeth, but I'm talking about in terms of actually having to do something to my hair every day. Not on duty. Don't have to do it. The length when I got my hair installed was 7 inches. Um, I don't remember how much I paid. I can tell you that if you are looking for pricing, supply and demand, like everything else, is going to be a huge variable. If you're in Sisterlocks seem to be getting a lot more popular than they were even a few years ago today than they were then. So the price is going up significantly as well. If you're trying to save on cost, microlocs are an option, or trainees. They're just as, I don't want to say that. They just haven't completed the certification. Typically, trainees have to do 3 or 4 installations. I'm not sure of the number, but they're under, some of, depends. Some of them are under certified consultants who are helping them to learn the ropes. So you can save some money that way. But make sure you go, if you want Sisterlocks, make sure you get someone off of the Sisterlocks website where they have the certified consultants listed. If you are just getting microlocs, look at their work. Definitely look at their work. Kim is a trainee. She said you have to have 3 installs. But my hair was done by a trainee at 18 months in terms of the reties, and it's flourished. I mean, she's doing a wonderful job. She's certified now, but she was a trainee when she started doing my reties because Donna's business had grown so much. She was doing more install. So long story short, whatever. Yes, go to the trainee. Another thing is going to that Sisterlocks website to find certified locticians. I have heard and seen horror stories in the Sisterlocks Facebook groups and in the Locks Facebook groups where there are scammers out there where they'll say, oh, send me a deposit, then they don't show up, or they not even giving you sister. Oh, I have a horror story. I will share that with you too. But not from that, something else. So that's what I would say about that. Hair maintenance, it really is a great idea to follow what your loctician says in terms of the braiding and banding for that first year. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you get what's known as slippage, where your locks completely unravel and then you have to have time to have them go ahead and reinstall that. And then it also decreases the chance of bunching. I never got bunching. But if you don't braid and band it, remember you have loose ends that have to lock at the bottom. And if you're adding water and shampoo and your hair isn't braided and banded, what ends up happening is it gives it a chance for it to bunch up on itself. And when they got to interlock that, you don't want no bunch going through that little teeny tiny space that's happening there. And then they have to repair it. And you just avoid that and do the braiding and banding. Like I said, when she gave me the green light of, hey, you are locked, you don't need to, I never did it again. However, I will say that I do prefer the braiding and banding for when I'm washing because it just makes it easier and the hair doesn't feel as heavy. The hair is not heavy when it's not wet. Some people say, oh, that has to be heavy. It has to be a lot on your hair. It's not. It feels like air on your hair, but when you add water to it, it's just very different. In terms of styling, I wear typically a bun on the top of my hair, a ponytail in the back. These cornrows, or the style that you'll see most people wear with Sisterlocks, where they have a part and then it's down on one side and a little bit more on the other side, or a part in the middle. I never have gotten any of the really fancy styles. Maybe I'll do that for like my birthday or a holiday or something special that I'm going to, but otherwise I don't do that. In terms of products, you saw me today. Let me grab the aloe vera juice that I use for 1 second. Knocking stuff over. Un momento, por favor. Right here. So it's the lily, I can't even say it. Lily of the desert. This here, the aloe vera juice. So you can get this on Amazon. It comes in a 2-pack. I use aloe vera juice in products that I make as well. But this is what I'll mix in a squirt bottle. And it'll be 3 parts aloe vera juice to 1 part water. You can do 2 to 1, 1 to 2, whatever you like. But I like the concentration of the aloe vera juice. I do also add my lemongrass herbal infusion in my hair. This is a hair and body oil. But I like it because it locks that moisture in from the aloe vera juice in the water, because I have dyed my hair. I dyed my hair back in December of 2022. So it's been, I said 6 months, 7 months. July would be 7, ma'am, not 6. So it's been 7 months. So it has grown quite a bit. As my loctician was going for her cosmetology license and her esthetician license, you go to one of those shops, you save a little bit of money. And she was under the instruction of her instructor while she was doing it. I think she called it a double process or something like that. But I am due for I guess a refresh of the color, because it is looking a little, got them roots growing, all of that. My reties are done every 5 weeks. We did play with 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. 5 weeks seems to be the really good sweet spot. I love my hair like a week before it's time for the retie. I don't really like it when it's at that fresh retie state, because it kind of feels like that plucked chicken all over again, where it feels scalpy. I do love your state. I was hoping that Laura and Lorraine were on today, because I have on my California t-shirt, and you guys are from California. But yes, and it's a simple, easy t-shirt. And so what were we talking about there? Reties, they typically take about 3 hours for her to get through. The dye, and then the products that I use. So that is, and then as you can see, it's already doing its Pippi Longstocking thing. To avoid that, I'll take the same scrunchie that I used in the beginning, and then I just kind of tie them together. And they'll still stick up. See? And so that's what we have. We'll wear it like that, and I'll keep this in for about 2 days. Even when I get in the shower tonight, I will let the water run in my hair. I will let the steam go in my hair. I'll probably apply a little bit more oil to it tomorrow morning. But then that's pretty much it. I do shampoo and condition, and I only condition because I have the dye in my hair. So I'm hoping that this 3-year lock update answers the question of, number one, do you have any regrets? Absolutely, positively not. I think this is the best decision that I could have made for what I needed to be able to do every single morning to get through the pandemic and beyond. And then the other question I get is, what do I use? How do I maintain it? A huge myth, I do not put a scarf on my head. I do have, you can't see it on the camera as much, but there is frizz and fuzz that's going on my hair. Absolutely. But what can you do about it? It is what it is. I feel like it adds character to the locks. I do have a little bit of lint in there, and whenever I see it, I go on a lint picking mission to get it out. I have not done like an apple cider vinegar cleansing bath. I may try that just to see, does it do anything? But yeah, I'm pretty low maintenance, no maintenance. I don't wear a scarf on my head. I don't sleep on a silk pillowcase or any. When I go to sleep, I lay down. When I get up, I get up. There is nothing wrapped on my hair at all. I wouldn't recommend that. I'm just telling you, this is what I do. This is my story. So I did tell you that I had a horror story. So I had missed one of my appointments when I was maybe about 6 or 7 months into the lock journey. And my loctician wasn't available. What was the last soap you made? I haven't cut it, but I'll show you. Are you thinking about the pineapple mango? Because this is the last one. Here, I have to cut this one. And I think I'm going to call this one Concrete Jungle. It has like a bourbon, ginger, But I know which one you're talking about because you said we want that, and I said it'll be available in 2 weeks. I have to take a picture and put it on the website, but it's not up here. It's over there on the curing rack. I'll grab it though. So I had to find someone else that could do it. So I went on Instagram. Don't just go on Instagram. I went on Instagram and somebody wrote Philly Loctician. And she had pictures of Sisterlocks on there. So I gave her a call and she said, "Oh yeah, I can do your hair. No problem. Blah, blah, blah." And my loctician didn't have another appointment for 5 weeks. And I was already 6 weeks in. And I was like, okay, so I'll just take the chance, go to her this one time, blah, blah, blah. I even went on the Sisterlocks website to see if I could learn how to do my own reties. But to do your own reties, your hands are up like this for every single one of the locks. So let's be honest. There's a lot of DIY that I do, but this ain't it. That's not what I'm doing. So I went to this girl, and I should have known from the jump when she went to wash my hair, because remember, I'm not fully locked yet. She didn't braid and band it. She just put me under the thing and started washing. Then she put conditioner. Then she pulled out Blue Magic and jam and a comb and a brush. And so she starts and she was like, "Yeah, because we gotta, girl, never, ever." Kim is saying, "Run, Forrest, run." And I didn't, because I'm like, well, maybe, because she's talking about how she does things her own way and yada, yada, yada. So she gets started and she's going pretty fast, but not really fast. And she used the comb to like make a part. You never use a comb in Sister, ever. And she did that, and then she grabbed a brush and she's brushing. Then she got the grease and she put it on here, and then she got the jam and she put it on here. She got about, I would say, this much done. And I said, but it had taken her about an hour and a half just to do like this portion. I said, let me go to the bathroom real quick. So I called Josh. I said, "Josh, call me in 2 minutes and say it's," because I didn't have the heart to just get up and go, right? You got to come up with an excuse, like that. The same people who have a problem saying no, I'm that person. And a problem saying this ain't working, I'm that person. And so he called me and I was like, you know what? I have to go. I'll just schedule another appointment. I leave and it took me 3 washes just to get that little spot, because my hair was coated. It felt like wax on every single one of the locks that she touched, and the ones that she had balled up over here, because her hands were so full of grease that she was putting it in a scrunchie to hold it out of its place. I called my loctician. I said, "Listen, I don't know what happened." Laura is saying, "Lesson learned." I don't know what happened, but I will never, ever, ever, ever go to somebody that I don't know. I say all that to say there's also scams that are happening in Facebook groups. So you have to do your due diligence, where people will take a deposit online and all of that. Find out. And she was trying to take pictures of my hair while she was doing it. And I imagine that she was either grabbing other locticians' pictures and putting them on her Instagram, because there's no way that she created anything good out of what she was doing to my hair. So I never went back. She called me like maybe the next day, and I said, you know what, my loctician, she opened back up. And so I'm just going to go back to her. And she was like, okay, no problem. Thanks for the opportunity. But she was trying to take pictures as she was doing my hair to say, I guess, that she had done. And even in its state like that, you couldn't really see the grid. You couldn't see the parts. You couldn't see the scalp. But I guess to show the length of the hair, because it was still fresh. So you could say that. But yeah, that was my only horrible experience. And it was when I veered away from my own loctician. So learn from my mistakes. Do your due diligence. Make sure she was not on the lock or on the Sisterlocks website. So make sure they're on the Sisterlocks website and you can see other people's hair that they have done. Hello, Mauricio Garcia Lopez from Mexico. Hello, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. So we're just talking about my 3-year Sisterlock journey. It has been amazing. Don't regret it. If you are on the fence about it, go for it. It does take a little bit of patience when they are doing the install. My install took 3 days, 30 hours total. Your mileage may vary, all of that. I can't tell you how long it'll take, but make sure that you keep up with your reties. Find what works for you. Don't get into the screaming battles with other people in Facebook groups. If it works for them, it works for them. If it works for you, it works for you. One way is not the only way. But if you want Sisterlocks, make sure it is a certified Sisterlocks consultant. And I think that's all I have for today. I do want to make sure I go ahead and show Laura. I think you're talking about the pineapple mango, which is this one here. Yep. And you were like, we want that one. It smells so good. I don't know if you guys can hear my flip-flops going. These two. So I did this one and this one. These were the two that we made last. So I'm not sure which one you were referring to. But it's one of those. But they'll be on the website this week. But I have to go to a soap makers conference on Friday and Saturday, which will be a lot of fun. So the earliest they'll be shipping is Monday. It's been a very busy few weeks. And that's all I have. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this answered your questions. And I'm sorry it took me 3 years, but I told you this was not going to be a Sisterlocks channel. I am just a soap maker who happens to have Sisterlocks and who loves them. But a lot of you have reached out and said, where is the update? What's up with that color? Would you shave them off? I probably will shave them off when I'm 45. I don't think I'm going to keep them forever. But we'll see. I got a couple more years to figure that out. But that's all I have. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions, comments, additions, anything like that, be sure to leave it in the comments and I will respond. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.